Hello learners, welcome once again for a very important session which talks today on learning management system and Moodle. I think this is a very important topic with respect to electronic learning, with respect to online education, or rather we can say the technology enabled learning, because the whole world is right now talking about the open e-resources, or rather we can say the OER. So this learning management system and which is backed by the Moodle is a very important aspect, because learning management system is a tool and Moodle is a software. So with the help of this software, the learning management system can be executed very well. So if you go into the backdrop, I think just very fastly we want to correlate with our course, with our the program which we are developing, that is BCOS 184 e-commerce. And this e-learning is a very important ingredient as far as e-commerce is concerned, as far as the technological era is concerned. So prior to going into the depth of that, let's have a models of teaching. Development of models of teaching is one of the recent innovations in teaching. The core of teaching process is the arrangements of environments within which the students can interact and study how to learn. A model of teaching is a description of learning environments. An important purpose of models of teaching is to assist the teachers to have a wide range of approaches for creating a proper interaction environment for learning. So this is something which is very important aspect, and model of teaching is a plan or pattern that can be used to shape curricula, to design instruction material, and to guide instruction in a classroom and other settings. Basically, models of teaching are prescriptive teaching strategies designed to accomplish particular instructional goals. They are prescriptive in the sense that the teacher's responsibility during the planning, implementing, and evaluating stages are clearly defined. So, if you see in the present scenario, the main characteristics of teaching model is learning outcome, environment, criteria of performance, operations, and procedures. So, when we go more into the backdrop of this common identifiable characteristics, I think specification of learning outcome is very important, because whatever we are learn, what exactly the outcomes comes from that. So all models of teaching specify what students should perform after completing an instructional sequence. A specification of environment, if you talk about a teaching model, specifies in definite terms the environmental condition under which a student response should be observed. A specification of criteria of performance, if we talk about a model of teaching, specifies the criteria of performance which is expected from the students. A specification of operations, if we emphasize a model of teaching, specifies the mechanism that provides for the reaction of student and interaction with the environment. And when we talk about specification of procedure, or rather we can say the modus operandi, a model of teaching is based on a systematic procedure to modify the behavior of the learner. It is not haphazard combination of facts. So technology in the present scenario, it's very true, work as an enabler. And when we talk about electronic learning, this is going to play a very important role, because without technology, without gadgets, without the smartphones, or without the applications which we usually call the app, it is very tough for the individuals, or it could be the instructor, it could be the teacher, to disseminate the knowledge. So technology should be used to support, not replace good teaching. If you understand good teaching, then you can use an LMS effectively. Need to define what methodology we will use to support learning. Only then we can effectively and appropriately use the new technological tools. So technology is like the new chalk, a tool to facilitate basic practice. It does not replace serious planning and proper design, good content, learning, outcome device, clear objectives. And technology should be used if where necessary. It should not be like that every time we are going to use the technology. So the genesis behind the technology is that its work as a supporter, its work as an enabler, and not going to replace the good teaching. So if you see this particular image, you will which is well versed and which is self-explanatory in nature, and talks about the future of e-learning. I think you see how the data is going to change, and 50% of all college courses will be taught online. That is very true. And if you see the Ministry of Education, which comes under the ambit of Government of India, very specifically specify that a 40% content as far as the university is concerned, they have to take from the Swayam platform. So Swayam is one of the great initiatives. We have in our preceding session talked about what exactly the Swayam is, how the MHRD or Ministry of Education have created this platform, and which is in a free mode, and which could be in an open mode, and learner can just enroll and log in into that particular portal and then start learning. So this is a way by which the learning is going to be changed. So you find out that 4.6 million college students take at least one online courses as far as the Western world data is concerned. So this is not confined to the Western world. I am very specifically mentioned over here that as far as the Asian countries, the country like India or China are penetrating a lot as far as the online education is concerned. And in the coming years, you will find out that it is as good as far as the conventional way of learning. And when you talk about the teaching, I think you see the left hand side talks about where the teaching stands. It starts with the create, then analyze, then evaluate, then apply, then understand, then remember. And right side talks about the traditional model and flipped model. So traditional model is somewhere having a combination of creating, evaluating, and analyzing, and then applying, understanding, and then remembering. So this is the model which is there. So left side talks about the generalized model, whereas right side talks about the traditional model, which could be acute with that. And the teacher introduced new material to student. This was in the traditional model, whereas new material is introduced to student outside of class at their homework. So this is a thing where out of box approach had come up, and traditional approach is somewhat different, and flipped approach is having a combination of the blended learning of which we usually call the combination of online as well as the traditional learning. So who is here? So have you experienced a course run on LMS? Have you designed a course for deployment through an LMS? And have you experienced a course that you felt created an effective learning environment? So this is somewhere the learning management system had come up. And if you go more into the backdrop of learning management system, this learning management system is a broad term used to describe software tools designed to manage user learning interventions and provide access to online learning services for student, teacher, and administrator. So it's not like that the model is conducive for only one segment, that is student or the instructor or the administrator, but it's a win-win situation for all the people who are involved into it. Either it could be a student, teacher, and administrator. A software systems allows the development and delivery of educational courses using the internet as a delivery system. So internet is no doubt a backbone behind executing this software. And when you talk about the learning management system, I think if you see this particular image, you will find out that the one end that the software is there, then you have got complete courses and takers are there. So takers are at the bottom end, and then the course delivery is by the instructor, and then instructor can broadcast the course or float the course, and takers are going to take that course. So while going into the depth of this softwares, I think there are a lot of software into the market. I think if you talk about the open source we have already defined that it's a software which is freely available and you have to customize it and use it. So as an administrator, I can take that software and run on our domain or our server, and then the instructors are linked with that, and then takers are taking that courses. So Tito Bazaar is there, Boddington is there, Doseball LMS is there, Dokio's e-learning, FLE3, Ganesha LMS, IAS, Interact, LRN. Moodle is one of the important, the omnipresent software, and that is the reason, we are going to emphasize more on the learning management system, and then on the Moodle, then OLAT and MITEC software is there. And on the other hand, some commercial software also had come into the market, like Angel Learning, Apex Learning, Blackboard, Desire to Learn, eCollege, Learn.com, Meridian KSI, and then SAP Enterprise Learning. So these are the software. So we are not confined to this particular softwares. Either it could be open source or commercial. A lot of the new players are entering in the market, and in the coming days you will find out that more softwares are there, because customization is a very important aspect. So all these big players, the vendors which we had talked about, the platforms, the e-learning platforms which are used by the edX, the Khan Academy, Simple Learn, or the Udacity, Udemy or the Byju's. So somewhere they are using this open source or the commercial platform, and by that the learning is going on, the dissemination is going on. So if you talk about the advantages of LMS, I think ability of an LMS is to allow to fully manage and track your own learning, provide support for distance learning, purposefully designed, mature, safe and secure, ease of use and centrally supported model is there. So that is something very important, because ease of use is very important. If the software which had been designed or which had been developed is not user friendly or customer friendly, I think somewhere the learners lacked, and their morale is going to be deteriorated. So to keep their enthusiasm alive and to keep their morale up, I think ease of use is very important, and safety and security is a very important aspect, because preceding sessions, either it could be the course called Computer Application Business or E-commerce, we have purposefully talk about the GDPR system, that is General Data Protection Regulations, and these GDPR is a brainchild of United Nations, which talks about safety and security to the customers or to the students or to the the takers. So if their data is not going to be secured, their wallet is not going to be equipped with the security features, I think the platform which is developed by these administrators are not purposefully solved. So there are certain disadvantages of LMS, that is cost, expensive to create, time required to install necessary hardware, software, course and database, not designed to be standalone, need for LMS administrator. So a lot of players are coming into the market, and as I have told you that huge number of courses are coming up. So penetration is there, good number of footfall is there, but the lackness is there. How one can reach to the takers, one can reach to the unreached. That is more important. And there are certain institutions which are coming up. Indira Gandhi National Open University is also doing a great job in this direction, because the beauty behind the IGNOU is that we are fully equipped with the self-learning materials, which is a text format. That is quadrant 1 is almost completed, and quadrant 2, when you talk about, I think the video part and other thing is there. So learning management system is definitely going to add a feather in a cap, like institutions in the Gandhi National Open University, because they have already reached to the certain height, and if they are equipped with the learning management system or the LMS, I think somewhere the purpose is going to be solved. So learning management softwares, I think getting started is easy. Moodle is the world's most popular learning management system. Start creating online site in minutes. That is the beauty of the Moodle, and it is a platform which is freely available on the web, and equipped with the one model. And if you more go into the depth of all these the players, I think flipped classroom, if you talk about, I think it's equipped with the paper book. Left side, if you see the PPT videos, MOOC is there, that is massive open online course, so we have already talked about. And then information sharing tools are there. I think traditional offline, if you talk about, Google Drive is there, WordPress is there, Drupal is there. Then online websites are there like edX, Coursera, Moodle is there. Then some international players have also entered into the market, like Swayam platform is there. Then evolution tool, if you talk about assignment written, Google Form and Moodle Cloud is there. So Moodle, if you talk about why we are considering this Moodle example, because lecture divides Moodle courses into sections, and each section is a series of links to various digitized lectures. And if the lecture is aware of prescribed reading being available in digital format, then one can upload it on the internet. The contact details of a tutor and lecturer are made available, and this is the thing. So Moodle, if you talk about this is an acronym, and full form, if you talk about Modular Object Oriented Dynamic Learning Environment, known as Moodle, is a free and open source learning management system, which we usually call the LMS. So Moodle is free and open source software learning management system written in PHP, and front end is PHP, back end could be the MySQL and other thing. Moodle was originally developed by Martin Dogyamas in 2002. Moodle is used for blended learning, distance education, flipped classroom, e-learning. So Moodle current version available is changing with the change of time, and you will find out you can create your own Moodle courses with Moodle Cloud or other Moodle learning management system that enables educators to create their own private course is through Moodle only. So the name Moodle is an acronym, and and works through the internet, also known as learning management system or virtual learning environment, which we usually call the VLE. So it is a free web applications that educators can use to create effective online learning sites. One of the main advantages is it's open source or has open source, allowing any user with programming knowledge to modify and adapt the environment according to their own needs. Moodle can be installed at no cost at many servers. How has code opened? There are no maintenance costs, need to pay for upgrades. Nobody can force you to make updates, buy tools that you do not want or determine how many users should possess. The teacher manages the platform according to their needs. So what is Moodle? Moodle is a software framework, it's very true, providing generic functionality by additional user-written code, providing application-specific software publishing, that is blogging, news, shopping. Moodle is a special type of content management system. Moodle is a special type of CMS dealing specifically with learning content. It is free, open source and simple design. So Moodle LMS, the open source learning management system used by hundreds of millions of learners worldwide, is the heart of the world most customizable and trusted online learning solutions. Developed in conjunction with our community, Moodle LMS is complemented by Moodle Workplace, Moodle Apps, Moodle Cloud, Moodle Academy, and network of certified service providers delivering expertise in hosting. So if you see this particular image, I think this content expert is there, then Moodle course construction is there. If you see the pedagogy, how the things are moving, content expert, content pack is there, then Moodle course construction is there, then question and answer, peer review content, then editing, language editing is there, then production lesson is there, and finally student deployed materials are there. This is the thing which is there. So if you see instructional design, map, the planning is there, then quality assurance, quality provides credibility, then monitoring is also there, user ID elements to use, improve user performance. So if you see the modus operandi, assessment strategy is there, then content curricula is there, then predominant methodology, social constructivism is there, course outcomes, public objective is there, then audience and access is there. So select Moodle tools, forum, chat, blogs and etc. are there. And instructional design, if you talk about, I think the structure Moodle is temporal activities, illustrative device, make conceptual case studies, student support device is there, timing pace is there, diversity issues is there. So all those things are going to be covered into it. So if you talk about the quality assurance, I think it's determined criteria is there, nominate a team and insert workflow, and by that things are going to be managed. And if you talk about monitoring and evaluation, student performance against courses, outcomes and objectives are there. So these are the inbuilt, the templates or, the modules which are inside this Moodle, where staff teaching experience are there, user experience are there, and revise and improve courseware are there. So monitoring, evaluation, if you usually call the follow-ups and feedback, is also one of the important ingredients which is equipped in the software. So creating own Moodle web page, now verify email ID to activate account, add course, edit section, grading policies, creating assignment, discussion forum, enroll participants and enroll user for course wiki creation. So this is the thing. I think we have very elaborately talked about the learning management system and the content management system, which is one of the abbreviation of the synonyms of learning management system. So a learning management system is important in many reasons, because when you talk about learning management system, the learning management system is a software which provide facility to the teachers or the group of teachers. So now not depend on any institute, but if they want, they can create their own institute. So the platform is there, which is available in a virtual format, in a cloud format. One can download it, one can create their own format, become an administrator, then broadcast the learning, then flow the learning through that format. So e-learning and e-commerce, when you talk about, are long last siblings who have just recently started to find each other, and that is the reason we have talked a lot about electronic learning, and the 1 week specifically dedicated to electronic learning, e-learning disseminators, and then learning management system and Moodle. The reason behind is that it's very clear that when you talk about e-commerce, it's not like that we are talking about selling or buying of the commodity. So right now the model had been changed, the pedagogy had been changed. A lot of segments have come up or created, where you find out that it's work as a commerce. Either it could be a governance which is created by the government of the particular country, or the electronic learning which is need of an hour for the institutions who are in brick and mortar mode, or in a click and mortar mode, or in distance learning mode, or in open mode like in the Gandhi National Open University. So this is a very important aspect, because when you talk about e-commerce is a very holistic term, very elaborative term, and when you go into the backdrop of e-commerce, you will find out that electronic learning, e-services, e-governance, and lot more, the model which is part and part of the services are come under the ambit of that. So many more people are studying courses online and using cloud for almost everything done to their companies. And this is the reason that things are now changing. The institutions are also changing. There are some good institutes in the Western world which were purely on the chalk and duster mode or blackboard mode teaching was there, like in the face-to-face mode. But now they have discontinued their conventional way of disseminating the educations and now come up in this different mode. So this is the way by which the learning is going to be changed, and electronic learning can only change when you are equipped with certain the tools or the platforms. And Moodle, or we talk about, is one of the learning management systems. And when you talk about the e-learning disseminators, either it could be the the edX, or the Khan Academy, or Simple Learn, Swayam, or lot of other platforms like Byju's or Vedantu or Tutor. So somewhere they have used the learning management system. Somewhere the software is at the backdrop, and this software is either customized or bought by these commercial players, either it could be the SAP or Microsoft, or so this is a very important aspect. So Moodle e-commerce integration is the fruit of our labor and brings together both, so you have everything in one place, and by that the learning is going to be changed. So I think today's session was quite burgeoning, quite contemporary in nature, because it talks about how the pedagogy is going to be done. We have preceding sessions talk a lot about electronic learning, then we have talked about the e-learning disseminators, and now this learning management system is more talking about that what exactly the LMS is and how much important the learning management system is. Because if you are talking about the jurisdiction less or the cross-border learning, I think somewhere the software could be rich in nature. If the software is not rich, software is not equipped with the latest trend, latest technology, I think the lackness is there. And on the other hand, security part is quite strong. So as an administrator, it's a moral duty that whosoever enrolled in this particular course or in any platform, their data need to be secured, because security is a very important aspect, and cyber security is the biggest challenge when you talk about electronic learning, when you talk about online education, when you talk about online commerce, online services, or online governance. Because if the data leaks, I think it had a very serious repercussions. Either it could be the financial loss, or the sharing of the personal data. So that need to be taken care by these corporates, and how the data is going to be secured. There must be some modus operandi behind that. So GDPR rules very strictly, very particular about that how much security the administrator or the portals or the platforms or the aggregator is taking care. Because if they are not going to take care in a serious way, they are going to be penalized, and huge penalty is going to be imposed on them. Because things are changing in the coming years. You will find out that virtual currency is knocking a door. So very easily the money can be debited from the particular account, and there could be a big challenge of hacking. So we have a very dedicated sessions which talk about cyber security, hackers, ethical hackings, and a lot of sessions where there are cyber threats. So intention is very clear that we make our learners, we make our students who are enrolled in this particular course or to the particular program, which is a parent program of this course called e-commerce, which is called BCom. So we want that our learners should be equipped with all those aspects, and they need to be familiar with various aspects. So when you talk about e-commerce, we have to talk the e-commerce as a whole. It could be the brick and mortar commerce, it could be technology enabled commerce, and it could have a combination of all those things which are come under the basket of this e-commerce. So I think by that I am going to wind up my sessions, and coming days we have some more valuable thought-provoking sessions because intention is very clear that we want our learner to be quite skilled in this particular course. If they are skilled, I think somewhere our purpose is going to be solved, because when they are skilled, when they are familiar with all those terminologies which we are using over here, they can very easily apply and do wonders in the job world, in the job market. Because end of the day, what matters is that how much you have learned and how much you are going to execute what you have learned. So the intention of this video, intention of this particular course is to make learners not mug up with this e-commerce terminology, but try to apply this phenomena, so that in the coming days, when they enter into the corporate world, when they apply their mind to as far as the creation of employment is concerned, as far as working in any company is concerned, I think this is going to be quite important for them. Thank you very much. We have some more very good sessions which could be quite valuable in nature in coming days. Thank you.